Hi, I'm Jeremy. Welcome. And today, I wanted to talk about Black Lives Matter because it's just all over the place with some rioting, some shootings, just all kinds of horrible things that are going on. And it's just lying, manipulation, nonsense, BS, trash, fear-mongering, hate-inducing feelings in order to get clicks and to make money. I'm tired of it. I would like to do other things with my time than this. I like it because I feel like I'm doing something that will actually make things better. It's going to be a grind, but yeah. And so that's enjoyable. But I have other things that I do that I like a lot more than making these videos. But I think that's kind of what life is to being an adult, is that you have responsibilities. Responsibilities are not always things, they're not the funnest things on the planet. Though they're not the worst things. Depends. So if you've watched me before, you know that with some of my videos I have this little text document above my head. There are topics that just keep coming up where it's just lies and manipulation. I'm tired of it. I'm not going to let it dictate to me anymore. And if you're tired of being dictated to with a bunch of fake news and false information, then give my videos a like, thumbs up, subscribe, become a member. I've got Patreon, Subscribe Star, all that'll help me out a lot. The sooner I can get that going, the sooner I can start making this website. So the title of this text document is Black Lives Matter, and as always, this is not about changing anybody's minds. If that's what you're getting out of this, you need to watch this video over again. I'm not trying to change anybody's minds. I think everybody's kind of got that. I say it every time. So this is about showing lies, whether if they're intentional or not. I don't care. A lie's a lie. The biggest thing is to leave this open for people, to bring information, to talk over, and to bring the most accurate, up-to-date information possible. So one of the things is, what is Black Lives Matter? It's a decentralized political and social movement protesting against incidents of police brutality and all racially motivated violence against black people. So that is 100% racist, because you're going against people based off of their color. Color is not something that you can change. If you want to know if you have some kind of bigotry views, ask are your views based off of any kind of characteristics that you don't have any control over your sex. You can't change your X and Y chromosomes, where you were born, your nationality, the color of your skin, your age. You've got no control over these things. So if you are hateful or angry over these attributes, then you might want to sit down and kind of give it a little think about what's going on. So a lot of times too, it's not like, if you were to just flesh it out a little bit more, you would probably still kind of get there, but be a little more accurate. So I don't have a problem at all with anybody of any color, but man, have I got a problem with people's values. And I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, whatever. If you've got trash values, they're trash. I don't want anything to do with you. If that's really what you want to do, as long as it doesn't affect me or force others to comply with you, I don't care. So this is the Black Lives Matter sign, and Tim Pool, he always talks about the communist, socialist red vest, and that's what this is. And they are really similar. They're not the same. if you want to make that leap and say that it is, I think it would be fair to say that, yeah, there's some things that are close enough to go ahead and to say that. And so, what is the raised fist? The raised fist or the clenched fist is a long-standing image of mixed meaning, often a symbol of political solidarity. It is also a common symbol of communism and can be used as a salute to express unity, strength, or resistance. Yeah, to fight. So yeah, it's a communist thing. It's garbage. I also wanted to point out that there is more than one Black Lives Matter organization out there. There's several, but to just give an example, here's another one. And it's because there's confusion, and this is confusion with fundraising that's been going on.
But our whole goal is to find a way to bring the community and the police together so that we can live in harmony with the police.
Robert Ray Barnes is the founder of the Black Lives Matter Foundation in Santa Clarita, not associated with the Black Lives Matter movement, and therein lies the confusion. Tonight, a BuzzFeed article claims in the wake of racial protests, donors mistakenly raised more than $4 million for the local nonprofit, thinking it was going back to the Black Lives Matter Global Network, the worldwide movement that aims to end police brutality.
I'm seeing an article.
That's a lie. It is not aimed at stopping police brutality. It's aimed at letting black people get away, black degenerates get away with trash. Because what I've seen over and over repeatedly, there might be some exceptions out there where, yeah, you know, something really bad did happen to a black guy by cops. Because it does happen, because cops are definitely not saints at all by any stretch of the imagination. But I've seen so many of them where, no, the black guy got shot and killed because he drew a gun, he tried to take the officer's weapon or something like that. It's like, yeah, because I care about your actions. You know, if you're complying with the law, then it's like, yes, you should be cuffed and handled with like every other person out there. But if you start dealing with weapons by pulling out your gun or trying to take an officer's gun, I don't give a damn who you are, black, white, whatever. It's like, yeah, you should be shot at, because if you're that stupid, it's like, I don't know what to do for you, because that's dumb. You know why I'm in my 40s and that hasn't happened? Because for one, I don't do anything. I try very hard to not to break the law, which is really hard because there's just laws just all over the place. It's just ridiculous how many laws that there are. But I try not to do that, and I'm definitely not stupid enough that I'm going to start pulling out a weapon or grabbing an officer's weapon whenever I'm in some kind of situation with them. To me, that is no different than trying to commit suicide by slitting your wrist. Same, and there is such a thing. It's called suicide by police or police suicide or something like that, and it's where people go crazy with police to get the police to shoot them.
That says that I've raised $4.3 million where, you know, I have never had anything close to that.
The BuzzFeed article.
Anyways, that's enough. We don't need to watch the whole thing. I'll have a link in the description down below if you want to take a look at the rest of it, if you want to know more about this guy and the foundation and all that. It's like he's different. He's talking about unity with the police and the black community because he feels like there's this negative kind of view with all that, and he wants to rectify that. And it's like, well, that's a good thing. That's a little bit more specific as to having something. But this Black Lives Matter, what is this? The movement. This movement here, right here, is garbage, and that's this right here. So be careful whenever you're reading all this stuff, you know, because right here it just says Black Lives Matter BLM. It doesn't say anything about movement or foundation or anything like that. I know there's several, that there's like 4 or 5 of them out there. And so this is where I got the definition from, is a decentralized political and social movement protesting against incidents of police brutality and all racial motivated violence against black people. Why not all people? While there are specific organizations such as Black Lives Matter Global Network that labels themselves simply as Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement comprises a broad array of people and organizations. So there's another one, Black Lives Matter Global Network. The slogan Black Lives Matter itself remains untrademarked by any group. And that, I know why. It's because it's actually in court that they're fighting over it, because there's one that goes back like a decade or two or something like that. They're like they got hijacked, and it's like, no, this group here that you're seeing right now stole it, or at least that's the claim, and that's why they're in court with it. The broader movement and its related organizations typically advocate against police violence towards black people, and that's fine. But why not everyone else? What makes black people so special? As well as for various other policy changes considered to be related to black liberation. I don't know of any of these policy changes that they want that's directly against black people. I've not heard of any. If you've heard of any, put it down in the comments section below, and I'll take a look at it. Be as specific as you can. Don't give generalizations. I just won't pay attention to it. I don't have time to dig into ramblings. Give me something specific. So here are some problems with Black Lives Matter. If they're so concerned about violence and all this stuff, this is the Officer Tatum YouTube channel right here. And so we're going to listen to him a little bit about this video he's titled Black 10-Year-Old Shot by a Black Man and BLM Does Not Care at All.
I can go on for 45 minutes, and God knows I want to, because there's a lot to be said about this subject. There's a lot to be said. We're out here pushing LGBTQ, but we won't push Christ. We're out here celebrating gang members and thugs when they get killed, and a 10-year-old loses his life in a senseless, absolutely senseless. The kid was probably laying in a bed. He wasn't resisting arrest, fighting the police on a high-speed chase, thugging it up, whole life full of crime. He was a little 10-year-old kid. Days before his dang on birthday, I wanted to cuss. Days before his birthday, he snuffed out. He could have been...
That's garbage trash, and he's pointing it out. He's saying that it's this mindset of thugs and drive-bys and all this kind of stuff instead of Christ. He believes I'm not for certain, but from what I've heard, it sounds like he's Christian. And it's like, yeah, between the two, it's like, yeah, I'll take Christian people over thugs any day. And thugs, man, I tell you what, they're black, white, Asian, Hispanic. They come in all shapes and sizes, every last one of them. You know why? Because anybody can be trash.
The next great person, snuffed out. Snuffed. And we don't give him no credit. But George Floyd, who robbing people, home invasions, smoking crack all day, methamphetamine, doing speedballs all day long, trying to defraud people with fake money. That man is a god in the community.
And see, this is what I hear all the time. You know what? He was just then, he's talking about George Floyd right there and all the problems that he had, and yet they want to praise George Floyd for all of the drugs and criminal activities that he was doing. And it's like, are you kidding me? That's who you want to? And so on Wikipedia, on May 25th, 2020, George Floyd, a 46-year-old black man, he's just a hair older than me, was killed in Minneapolis, Minnesota, United States, while being arrested on suspicion of using counterfeit bills. I think it was like a 20. During the arrest, Derek Chauvin, a white police officer, knelt on his neck for 9 minutes after he was handcuffed and lying face down. I understand why he was laying down, why he was handcuffed. I don't know why he had his knee on the neck still whenever he's handcuffed and down on the ground. Yes, he can still get up. Yes, he can still cause problems. But whenever he's on the ground on cuffs, I don't understand and I've heard it, and it makes a little bit more sense. But whenever he's handcuffed and on the ground, it's like, why is the neck? But from what I understand is that he died because he overdosed, because he had drugs on him too. He had fentanyl or whatever in his system. And he took an unusually high dosage of it because apparently he was parked over there dealing that stuff out. From my understanding, it's been a while since I've heard anything about it, so it could have changed easily. Maybe it's something else. And then the same thing with Dante Wright. Same thing. This guy was not an ideal citizen at all. He was a criminal. He had a rap sheet already, even though he was 20. This is who you want to pick? We're going to have another video here.
This is the situation that must have happened here. They escaped. They broke into somebody's house. Whom?
So now there's a 12 and 14-year-old 12-year-old boy, 14-year-old girl. They're, I think, part of some kind of foster care thing, if I remember right. Anyways, they get out of wherever it is that they're in. I don't think it was juvie. I think it was foster care. And they find this place here.
Had weapons in the house. And then they begin to pursue a standoff with police. The young girl had mentioned that she reminded her of Grand Theft Auto, which is incredibly troubling. And notice that I haven't said race.
So just so that we know, this video is titled Police Shootout with a 12-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl. And we are 5 minutes into the video. So he's been talking about it for 5 minutes, and he has not said a race.
And you'll find out why I haven't said a race, and you'll find out why you probably won't see this on any mainstream news. They got AK-47s and all of the above, and they ended up having to take shots at this young girl because she challenged them when she came out of the house. And so this is them.
Man, they unload.
In the surveillance video.
It was the girl who had an AK-47, just so that we're clear. That's not what cops use.
You know how that ends, right? I think she got hit like 8 times and lived, which is incredible. But she's white, and the boy is white. And that's why it did make the news, and that's why them having a fire, I don't know, 20-some times at a 14-year-old is not going to make the news. Because, according to the news, only black people get treated this kind of way. And if it was a white person, they take them out alive. And they make sure they get cheeseburgers. And they never do anything wrong to white people. But this is a white 14-year-old. I have never seen a black 14-year-old in this situation ever in my life. No video footage ever that I've seen where you have officers doing this right here to a 14-year-old black kid. And if they did, which I think it was justified that they had to at some point, the girl had an AK-47. If they did, these officers would be fired. This would be all over national TV. They would have said they could have just waited out. They could have tased her. They left the scene. They could have called her grandma, but they didn't call her grandma. One of the sergeants threw a phone in there to communicate with the kids, and they didn't want to do it. But if this was the roles reversed, we all know how it would have turned out, regardless of that.
That's right. I really like this Officer Tatum guy because he's like, this shouldn't happen to kids, period. Black or white. That's why I chose these 2 videos. Because the first one was about some poor little black 10-year-old boy. And then here we have a little 12-year-old white boy and a 14-year-old white girl. They're kids. And it's like, yeah, it sucks and it's horrible. But it's like you have to treat the law equally towards everyone. That's the only way to do it. It's the only way to be fair. The only way that I'm aware of. But this just shows how the media lies. It's just fake news garbage. You know what I want? You know what I really want? I want everyone to be safe. I want everyone to treat each other well. I also want to be treated well in return. Do not come up to me acting some kind of fool. I don't want to hear it. I'm not doing that to you. Don't do it to me. If I'm over at your place and you want to start acting differently, that's fine. It's your place. Do what you want. Whenever you're at my place, I would expect the same courtesy in return, or I'm going to ask you to leave. And if you're not going to leave, then I will shove you out that door. But whenever we're just out, it's like, yeah, you know what? Just be a normal person. It's just, and I think it's because people don't understand that life is just so complicated, that there's so many different ways of doing things, and that it's just an unnecessary stress. It's the same reason why we don't learn 50 different languages, have 50 different currencies. It's like we have country southern life, we have thug rap life, we've got jock life, we've got nerd life, we've got all these things. And you know what? I don't want to know any of it. I don't care about any of it. If I'm living in a certain place and that's the way that they are, I'll learn it for that place that I'm living in. But for the rest of the time, it's like, no, I just kind of want there to be a common, traditional American standard, so in that way we can just go about our day and I can play my part and you can play your part, and that will give a little bit of sense of comfort because we all know what to do. No kind of games. Don't talk down to me. Don't talk back to me. Don't do this weird thing and think that it's weird that I don't know this stupid thing, like Z and Zer. It's like, I don't give a damn about all that crap. Shut the hell up. I do not care about your fantasy land. And it's the same thing with rap culture and country culture and any other subculture we have within the U.S. It's like, I don't care about any of it. I don't mind knowing a little bit about it. It's interesting to a degree, but it's like I got better things to do with my life than figuring out what the hell's going on with you and your community or whatever. It's like I don't have time for it. There's 350 million people in the U.S. It's impossible. And so Black Lives Matter is just full of trash because here at Statistica.com, which is a statistics site, this is the number of people shot to death by the police in the United States from 2017 to 2021 by race. Guess who gets killed more than anyone else? White people. Now, in green right here, I mean, this is 2021, so the year is not over right now. But as you can see here, let's look at 2020, which is the red. 457 white people were shot by police. Black, 241. Hispanic, 169. Other, 28. And then unknown, 126. So, I'm curious now. So, 457. So, 2, 3, 4. So, more white people are killed than blacks and Hispanics combined. So if you care so much about police brutality, why not include everyone? You think that white people want to get shot? What about Hispanic people? Don't their lives matter too? Wouldn't it be better if we just nicked the whole problem in the bud together? Don't you think that you would have more success in doing any kind of reforms that you find that are crap if we all did it together? It's like, that's what I want. It's like, no, I don't want black people to be shot by cops unjustly. But I don't want that for white people or Hispanic or Asians. You know why? Because I never for 1 second want a cop to think that they can just go around and just start killing people unjustly. Because that just puts them one step closer to killing anybody. I don't want suicidal, homicidal maniacs in the police force. I want good, rational people. That's what I want. So whenever they start killing, if they're killing unarmed black civilians, that puts them one step closer to killing unarmed Hispanic civilians or unarmed white civilians or unarmed Asian civilians. I don't want them to go down that path at any moment. So yeah, Black Lives Matter, as far as I understand of today, is a completely racist BS movement. It should be all lives matter. And whenever they're bringing this stuff up with black lives, it's like, that's fine. I have no problems with them pointing out the specifics with blacks. But where's the rest of us? Where's the sense in that? You want success, don't you? Well, strength in numbers. So I'm trying to keep these things shorter. This is a good place to stop. I'll put links in the description down below for the videos, and so that you can take a look at this yourself. And this is going to come up again because we're not done with this, because they're going to keep reporting on it. So if you too are tired and fed up with this, I guess I do want to make a little change right here. So if you're for Black Lives Matter, then it's only black lives. And if you're against, it's because all lives matter. As of today, of making this video, I am against it. And I think that it's a racist movement because it is based off of race and not values. So I'm going to put in parentheses because this is me. I value all life, especially from people that do good. I can't do anything for people who do bad. It's like, what do you expect whenever you have a life filled of crime? Even if you're young and it's juvie and you're getting guns, black, white, whatever. I mean, if you're going to point an AK-47, I don't know what you expect the police to do other than fire back. I don't know what else. Maybe there is. I don't keep up with, maybe there is some very sophisticated body armor stuff and they could surround themselves in that stuff and be able to march right up to the kids and be able to slap them around a little bit and grab the weapon out of them and throw them in cuffs and then nobody. I don't know. And if it's available, I don't even know how much it costs. So if it's even a thing, I don't know. No, wait, I think I put that in facts, didn't I? Yes, more white people are killed by cops than blacks. And then I have a link to the description at some point in time. Before I make this site, I'll have like some kind of members thing, and I'll have all this up. And I will make it available to the members so that you can add information as it becomes available. Because I can't cover the whole country and every single little thing that's going on with every single... No. So it'll be fun to see us all come together and really flesh this out once and for all. So again, I'm not trying to change anyone's minds with this. If you're really for or really against, I'm not here to really strengthen it one way or the other. I'm really wanting to leave this open because the only thing that I'm trying to prove is that there are lies. There's fake news. Or also you could say double standards or hypocrisy or whatever. And I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with these organizations like Black Lives Matter. Because it's like, yeah, of course, Black Lives Matter. But I'm not for this organization because they don't care about Black Lives Matter. It doesn't matter to them. There was that little thing that got revealed how the Black Lives Matter leaders had like these really big, huge, insane $1 million places. And I don't know. I mean, if I was the head of some kind of organization and they were dealing with that kind of money, I mean, is it really that kind of a shock? What, you think that they're not going to get paid whenever there's all of this money coming in? I mean, they're obviously doing something something right. I would say they're doing something right in a bad way, because I think they're more about fundraising for money than they are about actually doing change. Because if they were more centered on doing change, then yes, they would bring up all the problems with the police instead of just this little tiny little snippet there. It's like, no, let's bring out all the problems. Let's do really hard police reform all across the board instead of just black lives as well. What about everyone else? So, I don't know. All lives matter. American lives matter. Because, I mean, what can we do with foreign nations that they don't follow American law? So, if you too think that, well, yeah, we need police reform for everyone, for all Americans, then give that video a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Patreon subscribe stars there. Thanks a lot for watching. See you again later. Thanks. Bye.